Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Hourlings podcast project. My name's Martin Wilsey, and tonight it's happy hour, so we don't have a formal topic. We're just gonna chat random. So Jay's drinking. I've got my cup here.
Not my deadly hydrogen
Everybody's
hydroxide.
got beverages.
This stuff will kill you, I swear.
Where do we start? What's happening this week? Hell, the cool thing that's happening for me this week, which is going to be weird because this podcast is not going to be published this week. My sister is coming to visit me and stay with me from Costa Rica.
Yay.
She has retired and moved to Costa Rica, and I can't wait to get the schedule on when her guest house is going to be done, because then Marty's going to be getting a new stamp in his passport.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in a long time, so it'll be nice. It's been because of COVID, add another year to everything. But it's been a few years since I've seen her.
A few years. Wow, that's hard for me to imagine as someone who's only lived in the house. Like, I've only lived in my house with my siblings, and then my sister lives in New York City. Moved there a couple years ago, but still it's pretty close to come home for holidays. So it's hard for me to imagine not seeing a sibling for several years.
Well, I haven't seen my son for over 3 years.
Wow, but he's a monk, right?
Since I had that epic road trip with him and drove him out to the monastery in California.
Yeah,
that's how long it's been since I've seen my brother as well. Yeah. My brother Russell, he lives in California as well. Yeah. That was the last time I saw him.
No, I think it's totally natural. It's just like an interesting transition in life when you realize that your siblings are doing their own thing and having their own lives, and living in the house and sharing the Chinese food with you in the refrigerator.
It's funny.
Got such far-flung family. My father down there in Arlington and my brother down there in Chantilly, or Centerville. I mean, wow, so far away. And I'm not even from this area.
The sibling I see the most is my sister Amy, and she actually just lives less than an hour from here.
That's great.
And I see her a lot. And the funny thing is she's 75 years old. I mean, she's probably older than your parents.
My parents?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I know she's older than your parents.
Yeah.
Hell, I think I'm older than your parents.
Not older than my parents.
I'm old, Grandpa.
Good one. Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be fun.
That's great.
And, with the COVID thing coming to a close for our household anyways, because we're fully vaccinated and all that.
Yeah, you guys are fully.
It's been great. Last weekend I had house guests over, and for actual dinner, I got real hugs from real people.
Yeah.
And that was great. It's really really helps the feeling of getting back to normal. It's gonna be a really weird year looking back. I'll be looking at this podcast in 5 years going, oh man, do you remember that shit? It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Something interesting. My wife and I were just watching Love It or List It, which is a show on the
the home channel.
It's interesting because it was right on that cusp where the first part of the episode, the two hosts are with the people who are trying to figure out whether they're going to fix their house up and keep it, or if they're going to fix it up and sell it. But by the last half of the episode, the guests are going into the houses themselves, carrying a camera and talking to the hosts who are elsewhere, because this was in March where the lockdown happened.
Right.
And right in the middle of the show, you could see the difference. It was really weird watching it.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm going to bring up another topic. Vaccinations. Now, Marty, you're fully.
Yeah.
Shay, I believe you're fully, right?
And me too.
And David. I will swearwordly be getting my first shot on Thursday. Swearwordly. I'm automatically beeping myself.
Now, remember, folks who are watching this, this episode will probably air in July.
Well, I'll be fully vaccinated by that time.
being filmed.
Yeah.
July. Okay, everyone watching this is like getting ready to do their fireworks, getting some grilling going.
Oh, hey,
I hope you're enjoying
course,
it. We're
man.
thinking of you in the future.
we get to actually do my annual tradition that we've been doing for a few years. Had to cancel it last year. We go down to Shepherdstown, West Virginia. We participate in the Polar Parade. We take our electric cars and we're in the parade there.
Yeah.
It's a great event.
I
think
do want
we
to
need
mention, I feel pretty bad about all the people who've lost their lives to COVID-19, and I don't want to make light of that in any way, shape, manner, or form.
Absolutely.
At the same time, after being in lockdown for more than a year, and looking at probably the rest of this year to gradually come out of lockdown and be able to start
Mhm.
really doing the things that we did before, I can't help but kind of look forward to being able to go to conventions again,
Oh yeah.
to be able to attend book signings and
Do
events
cosplay
where I can
events.
sell my
Host them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that type of stuff, and I'm intending to really start that kind of stuff up again, starting
me too.
in 2022.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm
Yeah,
going to start in July.
There's been a cascading set of cancellations still going on
Yeah.
this year. I do this fun event every year called Pensic. It's
Mhm.
medieval camping, really big fun. It's quite the hoot. It's great people watching. Great for my author. It's my annual author vacation. I do
I was gonna
2
ask.
weeks.
I was gonna ask to do it with you this year too.
Yeah,
Oh,
make it
yeah.
happen.
I know.
It's not happening.
I know. I
Um,
know.
So
It's a shame.
I love doing that, and that's canceled. That takes place first week of August, and you know I still see other stuff probably being canceled as the year goes on. I got my fingers crossed for next year. So
Well, I mean, I will say things like the Women's Summit. So the Women's Summit was online. Still got to attend it this year. Gen Con was online last year and will be online and in person this year. So, I mean, I can still go there. So some conventions have adapted, but that nothing like the in-person. I mean, in person, it's just there.
Well, I'm looking forward to potentially WorldCon is in Washington D.C.
Mm-hmm.
for 2021.
Mhm.
The first time in quite a few years that it's been in the U.S. and on the East Coast.
Mhm.
That has been moved to December. So that might be the first convention I get to go to. Also, Capclave, which is our local convention here in Washington, D.C.,
Yep.
smaller than WorldCon, is actually the month before WorldCon. So it's like November.
Yeah.
Those might be the first conventions I get to go to. But then I'm kind of like, how many people are going to be there? They're still going to have virtual tracks. I don't really think I can justify the cost of getting a table for book selling at the convention when I just don't think that they're going to have the traffic
yeah.
to warrant the cost.
I just realized that there's a person in my background.
Oh yeah, I know. I was noticing
Oh.
that.
I already noticed.
She's our fans.
It's our one fan.
Our
Wow.
one fan.
He's
Amazing.
patiently waiting for me to finish.
Oh yeah. Watch this stuff's gonna happen
Finish
afterwards. I feel like we should stop referencing how far into the future our podcasts are going to go, because it just shows our listeners that we really have nothing better to do. We just do these podcasts. We record these things like a lot.
Hey,
dear listener,
it's a
I
good
will
COVID
give you one little
practice.
hint.
It sure is, but we're gonna lose that excuse pretty soon.
No, but one little hint, listener. That episode you just saw a few weeks ago around July 1st, that one we recorded almost the day of.
What? Maybe I'm just drunk. What did you say?
Because we're gonna do our half year. How are you doing on your or we just
Half year.
We just did our half year.
Yeah, we did our goals
Our half
around
year.
January, right?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to actually doing a podcast where we're all sitting in the same room around a table.
That'd be
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
You want to do
That'd
that?
be big fun.
Are you thinking
That would
about
be
that?
awesome.
Yeah, we got to do that. It'll,
I think you're-
I'll have all you guys down here and we'll eat pizza and,
Oh yeah.
have adult beverages and then go out to the
Yeah.
fire pit and
Oh,
smoke
I'm
cigars
down
and
for it,
drink
man.
bourbon.
I am,
down for it.
like I say, after the 13th of June, I should be available for any outdoor activities.
That's my birthday.
Awesome.
Oh, your birthday's 13th June?
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
File it
and,
away in your little brain cabinet.
David, I know you guys are
Better
being a
use-
little more circumspect on this thing, so I don't know if that's going to work for you that early.
What do you mean?
About going out during the virus.
My wife has risk factors. We've been pretty careful.
But you're both vaccinated now, right?
Yes.
But
Okay,
even
cool.
so, respect.
Yeah,
Not gonna do this
whatever.
until you're available.
I mean, that's really what it comes down to now. Everybody's got to be responsible for their own selves.
Personal choice. Personal
Yeah,
choice.
that's just fine.
Yeah, I'm ready for it though.
If I could bring us down a notch of sadness, just make sure you load up something that's really happy after I say this. But one thing that the virus has really done is, as some of you all know, our lawyer viewers, I lost my mom, and I could not go to the funeral. And one thing I'm really looking forward to is once I am vaccinated and once I'm fully vaccinated, I'm going to go up to Connecticut and go to a gravesite, and we're going to consecrate.
Let's not desecrate her grave.
We're going to desecrate mom.
I thought it was pretty nice.
Let's not,
No.
do any more Freudian slips.
Yeah, I know. No, we're going to consecrate a gravestone for her, or a grave plaque. So that's going to be the in-person ceremony that we couldn't have, back then. So that's going to be very nice.
There's actually a lot of that stuff happening too, because like Brendan and I we're heading up to a memorial service for her aunt and uncle. Her uncle died. He was 97. Big World War II veteran, and and his wife died. Like 6 months later. So because of COVID, we couldn't have a funeral. So now we're going up for memorial service. I think that's going to be happening a lot.
It's since we're on the topic of sadness, I'm just going to keep it going until someone breaks it. But because I'm Irish, and that's when we drink, we get sad anyway. So there you go. I totally. I guess I can't empathize. I have compassion for everyone who has lost someone. And hasn't been able to have like an in-person funeral to finalize things, say goodbye, whatever. But when my brother died, I remember I was like, "F the funeral! I don't want to go to the funeral. I don't want anyone in my house. I don't want to mark this occasion.
Which is fine.
I don't want to say goodbye. I don't want to bury. I don't want to do any of that." I remember distinctly thinking that, and I wrote about this in American Boy too, the book I wrote about him. But I remember distinctly thinking to myself, I almost as ignorant and maybe insensitive as it is, envy people in battle who lose comrades and just have to keep going. They can't stop and put flowers and think about it and grieve and weep and bury and read a poem and read scriptures. They just have to keep going and keep fighting and keep going on. And I remember thinking that's what I would prefer than having to stop and do a funeral. So I extend deep compassion to those who do find that very helpful in their grief. But for me, I think I would have almost been like, yeah, I don't want it anyway. It's too hard. But
I will say the funeral itself, the ones that the formal funeral that we had,
yeah,
we recorded it. One advantage of COVID is that we were forced to record it, so we did record it.
Oh, so you have a memory.
And I brought some of my friends to say Kaddish for my
That's
mother.
interesting. Jeffrey, that's a cool point. Not a cool point, but like a thought-provoking point. You always see people recording everything. Like they record graduations, they record weddings. They never record funerals.
No, and so yeah, my mom's funeral is on a private YouTube channel.
So now you have something that a lot of people don't do.
Even
my nephew, who
seen
is
funerals that were videotaped for people
Were they?
to be there. And in fact, some funeral homes will actually, some churches and funeral homes will actually put the video online so that it be shared with people who can't be present.
That's what my father did. We have the Zoom one that I set up, and then
I'm just going to say though, if we're going to keep being depressing, I'm going to use my usual technique for.
Where's the doggies? Where's the puppies?
No.
Show the puppies.
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Oh, shall we talk about Let's Kill John A. or John Wilkes Booth Must Die?
No.
No.
Okay.
So I said before this that we should just ask each other personal questions to keep the conversation going. So someone hit me. I'm ready.
Oh,
Okay.
Jeffrey, I'm looking at you. I think you have one in the holster.
oh, Shay, where do you want to go next? I mean, in terms of travel.
Well, good question. Don't know how personal it is, but that's a good question.
Not very pretty. I could get
That's
personal,
more
but
of a public
this is
friendly
my
question. I'll let it slide. Like if I had all the funds in the world and could do whatever I wanted, I would love to go to like India, Africa, a tropical place in Asia or in Africa, and just explore and live off the grid and no tours. I strongly dislike tours when you're traveling. Do your own damn thing.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
that's whenever I go to Europe, it's
I don't want to
always
be like with a fanny pack with a big American flag on my wheelchair walking around. You know?
So,
yeah.
Shay, you and me, we're going to Wallachia and Timbuktu and Jenny.
Okay, I would do Timbuktu. I would do. Okay, so here's an interesting one. We were talking in my family recently about going to like Mexico or someplace on a cruise when the cruises open back up. And I've always wanted to climb one of those ancient Mayan pyramids. You can't do like the big one anymore, Chichen Itza or whatever it's called. You can't do that one anymore, but there's the littler ones that they still allow people to climb. And so when I said that, my family all looked at me like, "What? Who's doing that? How are you going to climb it? Who's carrying you up that? You know, not going to be me." And so I said, "No, I got all figured out. I did my research. There is a portable manual wheelchair that you can take on the plane, very easy, put it in a bus, whatever, that comes with an engine or a little motor that you can attach to it, and then the wheels climb on top of each other. And so someone just needs to basically guide it, stand beside me, I'll sit in it, and guide these little wheels up the Mayan pyramid. So that's my plan. No one's going to throw me off course on that. So
well, no, that's cool. But you know, if we go down there, Shay, I'll carry you.
Okay, you're welcome to do that. You'll earn a medal.
I'm your backup plan.
All right, buddy. I have a knighthood for that. Do you know? Have I told you about that?
No.
I've seen him.
My own knighthood called the Order of Shay, which I will knight anyone that carries me. But I also have medals for other activities like cutting up my food, or the newest one is a ranger medal, which I award to people who haul me out of the mud or, you know, build things for me, like build gadgets that make my life easier, stuff like that. So yeah, you would earn your knighthood that way if you so chose to. So there you go.
Yes, there you go.
Mission, should you choose to accept it.
Exactly. Well, I need
comes with great responsibility. Great responsibility.
Of course, I would take care. You know, I take good care of you, my friend.
Oh yes. But the knighthood, I have I got a website for it, and I have a members only section of the website that only knights can access. So if you get your medal, then you get, you know, access to the, you know, the good stuff. I'm not going to tell you what's behind door number 1, but.
All right. Now, peace. Like I say, some things they're not appropriate for the podcast.
I let your mind wander. What rewards are waiting for the knights in the restricted section of my website?
Right.
Continue to think on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I got to think of a personal question for one of you guys now. Are there any times where you were just like getting ready to just like burn your manuscript and say, I can't do this anymore? Like you just really wanted to quit as a writer?
No.
No.
You never got there?
Wow, I had lots of. Now,
Now,
decades ago, when, you know, I first started writing, it was like 1980. And I had no idea what I was doing. And I would always get, you know, I was just trying to pants it, and I would get wrapped around the axle in the middle and get disheartened and abandon it. I've got like 4 manuscripts that are in that situation that I want to revisit someday.
Well, that'd be awesome.
Actually, resurrect.
So I'm a big follower of Buddha, his saying that the root of all suffering is desire. And so I did have a painful, I would say, you know, for me, I had moments like that, journey to publication, because I always desired, my dream, you know, my this or bust was to be traditionally published by a Big 5 press. And doing so came with a huge amount of setbacks, rejection. I think for me, the moment where I was like really hitting rock bottom, really trying to not burn my manuscripts and just grieve and say I'm going to just, live in the woods and not talk to anybody, was when I would have like really close, like really great opportunities that just come so close to getting it, and then it didn't work out. For instance, I am good friends with Suzanne Collins of the Hunger Games, and she was so nice to give me an entree to her agent. And I always thought, oh my gosh, what a storybook fairy tale ending if I were to end up with the agent of my good friend Suzanne of the Hunger Games, all the status that brings. And I just connected so well with this agent. We had lunch. She's really wonderful. I mean, I still love her. Her name is Rosemary Stamola. And at the end of the day, she just didn't feel strong enough for my work to represent me. And it was just a dagger in my heart because of how close I had, I was to like the dream, I thought, anyway. So I've had those moments all throughout my career where I just really thought this was it and I'm going to give up and I'm so sad and it was all for nothing and all that. But somehow I always got up, brushed myself off, kept at it. And now I have a really wonderful agent that I adore that I'm still working with today. So yeah, that's my story. Please stand and give me an ovation as you clap
David,
for it.
tell us about what you just showed us.
What, Jeffrey?
Oh,
Yeah, Dave, show and tell.
Yeah.
Oh, show me. What are you showing me?
so this is a box of basically stories and plot outlines going back all the way to my gaming days.
Wow.
Nice.
Each one of those files is basically the equivalent of a novel. And some of them have already started seeing the light of day. So the Cal McAllister story that I did that's going to be published as my first or second novel this year
Wow.
started out as one of these. So I have saved all my writing all the way back to when I was a teenager.
That is awesome.
Now, some of it will never see the light of day. But I've kept a lot of that stuff. And
That's
I can
great.
even see not just the progression in terms of craft, but also if I look at some of my older stuff, you can see places where I tried to write the first paragraph of chapter 1 like 70 times or stuff like that. I was certainly a victim of that. You got to have the perfect opening and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, I will say for my stuff, I mean, look, these guys know I beat myself up sometimes, but I never once, even when I'm beating myself up, say I'm giving up. I say, look, maybe no one will read it. Maybe no one will like it. Maybe I'll get all 1-star reviews.
well, I had
I
a
don't
different
care.
problem.
Get it done because I won't know until it's done.
So my problem was different. It wasn't so much. So I never, and this may sound pompous or something, I never doubted my capability to achieve what I would call at least a competent level with the craft of writing.
Mhm.
Being one of the all-time greats, so that's a whole other matter. But achieving competency, I never doubted that. The problem was in the early days when I wanted to be a writer, and remember, I was already in the IT industry where you got paid real money for doing work. So I really never understood how the writing industry, the publishing industry worked. Because as far as I could tell, it was basically a machine designed to abuse writers and take as many rights as possible for the least amount of money. And I could never understand from a business perspective how I was supposed to become a professional writer and actually make money at it without having to slave away for years to try to get past various gatekeepers and stuff. So every time I looked at it, I was kind of stymied by the whole business aspect of how do you get past the gatekeepers.
Right.
And the breakthrough for me was finding out about the Kindle and indie publishing and stuff. That kind of freed me up to really embark on and get serious about my writer's journey.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the thing is that once you realize that you could cut out so much middleman, you cut out the agent, you could cut out the prestige of that and just write a good book, but make sure that it's good. Spend money on your editor, spend money on your cover. Make sure that you do not shortchange. You're going to have to take over a lot of the responsibilities that the publisher does, but you're going to have to do that anyway. Make
Well,
sure you
I
have a
think there's
platform
only
and all
two
that.
people that are essential in the whole publishing realm. One is the writer. For without the writer, there's nothing but a blank page.
Right.
And the other is the reader.
Yeah.
Anybody else is a middleman.
Exactly.
And
But don't shortchange your editor. Don't shortchange your cover.
no, I'm not. I consider the editor to be part of the production process for your story.
Right. Or somebody
I'm
you
not
hire. to
changing
do
them
so.
at all.
Yeah, well, coming back to Shay's comment about her deep desire to actually be traditionally published, I did not even have a whiff of that desire. And it's really interesting to me because I know lots of people that want that more than anything. I never
Absolutely.
really cared about that.
Well,
I mean, I maybe it's because I write for myself mostly.
Yeah.
And if other people like it, if other people send me money, that's cool. I'll take it.
When did you start writing? Or when was your first novel?
My first novel was published March 31st of 2015.
Nice.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I think maybe I'm not, this is not like to compare myself or like flex. This is not at all flex, but I think I finished a novel or a few novels before that. Because I was very young when I first started writing my novels. And so I think part of it was, to me, that was the only destination of success. I'm aware or really socialized with independent publishing. It wasn't on my radar. I think maybe if I had known about it more and I had seen more success stories, maybe it wouldn't have become such a tunnel vision goal of mine. But because when I started writing, it was really just like that or bust. There's really no other in
actually,
between.
it was not on my radar either until 2012.
There you go. So maybe we're in the same boat.
When it basically kind of became obvious that like publishing ebooks and stuff on the Kindle was achieving some sort of critical mass.
And in that time, I was doing shorts, and yes, I had sold or at least sold a piece to an independent publisher. So I said, okay, I accomplished that, and I sold a piece to Marty. Paid me for it. You know, it was good enough.
I never tried to traditionally published, but I never heard of CreateSpace until I joined the writers group.
Right.
The Hourlings are the one that made me become aware that this was an option. And in the beginning, I thought, okay, I'm just going to write this thing and I'm going to publish it on Kindle and share it with my friends and family for fun, just so that they can read what my imagination is putting out there.
Yeah.
And but once it was, I realized that I could actually have a physical copy of it. That was awesome. When I first held the very first proof of my first novel, that was awesome. That was really an exciting time.
I'm looking forward to that for me.
And I didn't publish novels. I mean, I worked on craft issues first, so I didn't publish. Well, I'm not publishing a novel until this year, 2021. But I published my first story in 2017, and it felt pretty good holding that in my hand. Not perhaps as good as a novel, but it really felt like
it's all fun, man. It really is. I love it when hardcover editions of the anthologies come out. I love that. That's big fun too.
Yeah, I mean, and I enjoyed every piece that I put in.
Like this.
There you go. Yeah, nicely done.
Yep,
David.
got my copy.
Notice
On my brag shelf. I'm
usually I put that in though.
become really happy with my brag shelf.
Yeah.
Every author, I swear, has got a brag shelf.
Well, you have to.
We all have a brag shelf, and then we got another shelf or a box with all the proofs.
Yeah, right.
That are red penned.
My brag shelf is, and I know I've talked about this before, maybe even on this podcast, is my precious beloved bookshelf that came directly from Borders before it closed. I went into the store where they were clearing out all the furniture, and I bought a shelf because I had always said on one day I want my book to be on a Borders shelf, but they closed before I could get my book published, and now I can put my book on the border shelf, and
On the
it's still on
border
the
shelf,
border shelf.
Oh,
Yep, so
It's now
there
a
you go.
golf store. It's
Shay,
now a golf
amateur.
store.
What, David?
When it comes to borders, I have got you beat.
What do you got?
Oh, you did. You made out like a bandit there.
So
What do you
my
got?
brother and I went to Borders
Yeah,
when they were selling bookshelves
yeah.
with a truck. Okay.
How much did you get?
We came in with a step ladder, a drill, screwdrivers, hammers,
Wow,
an extension cord so we could plug stuff in.
wow.
We picked the stuff that we wanted and we took it apart, disassembled it, carried it out the front door to our truck. We even had a dolly to help carry stuff.
Why? Why'd you want them so badly?
They were the same color as my IKEA bookshelves.
Yeah.
That had been and that color had been discontinued.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I went and bought, oh, let's see, eight of the 9-foot tall bookshelves.
Mhm.
That's 8 feet bookshelves with a 1-foot extender on top that has another shelf. And then I bought 10 of the 5-foot tall bookshelves. You know where you have one bookshelf and it leans against another one. And so
Yeah,
you-
I think that's the one I have.
so that I could have basically a row of bookshelves that went down the center of my library room.
Yeah.
So all told, I bought 18 bookshelves, and my brother bought about 10. And like I
Wow.
said, before we were done, we were taking stuff apart for other people. You name it.
Yeah, I got the 5-foot one, and I have 8. I have 2 of the 8-foot. No, I have 3 of the 8-foot and 1 of the 5-foot. But I wish I got more of the 5-foot ones. So if you're ever getting rid of them, let me know.
Oh, no.
Not now. I want. Okay, so here's like the second part of the story. Now, ever since getting that precious border shelf, I have put out many feelers looking for a Barnes and Noble shelf, so I can have one of each. But Barnes and Noble shelves are like metal and very sturdy, and they just never get rid of them. So I haven't succeeded there yet. But if you find anybody that works at Barnes and Noble, let me know.
We have somebody in the writing group that works at Barnes and Noble.
Oh yeah, I think they actually tried to help me too. I think I maybe even I've talked to them about this.
We know people.
Yeah, exactly.
we know someone who used to. I don't think he works there anymore, but he used to it. But I will say this: this is my bookshelf right here. All the Kindle books.
No,
about 400,
never,
500,
never.
Audible books.
No.
No, I like ebooks.
Yeah, I like paper.
Yep.
I got
paper.
so many paper. It's crazy.
I like
Space. I need
paper
less
for
space.
most of my fiction. I actually like ebooks for most of my nonfiction, particularly when it comes to like writing and craft books, marketing books, et cetera, et cetera. I like all of that on ebook though,
Right.
because then I can pull out my phone wherever I am.
Yeah, reference books. I like to be able to have a search index.
Yeah.
And I like to have that anywhere. Oh, I've got 5 minutes to wait at the dentist's office. Let's pull up Newsletter Ninja, which is a real book and quite a good one, actually.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's not joking. It's a real book.
No.
So what else is happening, guys? I'm growing my beard back.
Yes, you
I
are.
like
I need
it,
to
I like
shave.
it.
I made
I forgot to shave
Guys need to shave.
for the last 2 weeks.
My
I,
can't
God.
believe how white my hair has gotten.
You're like
man,
Gandalf.
you're Santa Claus now.
Gandalf the White.
Santa Marty.
Well, I'm very happy because I got my new wheelchair finally. I
Oh,
have
really?
been in a loaner wheelchair for about 8 months,
Wow.
and it was not built for me, so it was very uncomfortable, and I had to live in it, my
Yeah.
whole life, obviously. And they just don't, just when you're ordering wheelchairs and stuff, they just do not prioritize that, so it just takes forever. And I have been with the same wheelchair brand since I was like 3. It's called Invacare, and it is like, it's got the worst reputation. Apparently 2 years ago, its medical equipment just spontaneously combusted into flames, and
Not good.
it was like totally recalled, and it was like under investigation, all these things. And here I was going into the wheelchair shop saying, nope, not changing. I still want Invacare. They're like, Shay, it caught fire. It combusted. Someone died. Why do you
Right.
want this wheelchair? I'm like, nope, not changing. This is my chair I've had my whole life. So they have cleaned up their act a little bit, I think. and improved a little bit. And I got my Invacare chair, so I'm very happy, much more comfortable now. And I've already christened it by going out into the woods and into the streams and
Is it more all-terrain than your last one?
Yes, it is, because my last one had three wheels on either side, so 6 wheels total.
Mhm.
And it was just a monster to get through things. I mean, it was definitely meant for smooth hallways, and I'm not a smooth hallway kind of person. I'm a out and rough it kind of person. So my 4-wheeler is much better for that.
Nice.
Don't know why, but it just works better. So I already got. I put one of the best things about it is in my loaner chair. I resisted putting anything on my chair because it's not mine. I didn't want to I don't know. I guess I had hope that it would arrive, in a couple of weeks, and it never did. But so now I got my compass attached to it. I'm gonna put my knife onto it. I got my flask attached. I got a pocket watch attached. So I'm happy. I got all my stuff. My saying is always I have usually 3 knives on me at any time and 1 you can't see. So
Nice.
I'm happy about it. Yeah, maybe I'll be packing pretty soon, Marty. You never know.
Yeah. Hey, man, that 19 Glock 19, man. It's nice.
The Glock?
Nice little
Yeah.
gun.
Yeah, so I'm wearing a sword you can't see.
Oh. Invisible.
Invisible weaponry.
Invisible
Right.
weaponry. Yep.
I actually have a bunch of swords in my office.
Yes, you
Oh,
do.
I love your
I've been
swords.
to your office.
Your swords are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's a weapon, Marty's got one.
Yeah.
And Shay might have that same that motto may apply to Shay as well.
I'm not sure that you have any machine guns.
I have a blunderbuss. I don't think Marty has a blunderbuss.
Do you have brass knuckles?
Brass knuckles, man.
I have nunchucks.
I do too. I know how to use them too.
Does that count?
Nice.
I would say, okay, David, I would say if you don't want to exactly apply it to us, I would say that we could compete. There could be a competition here. Maybe not. We'll have to see who the victor is. To the death. Bring your weapons.
I think at last count, I have about 85 swords.
Okay.
And I think 17 battle axes.
To be fair, your weapons are bigger than mine are. I collect knives. I have a bunch of knives.
Yeah, I got a ginormous amount of knives too.
So I will give you that you have bigger swords. But
It's funny. I still have the knives I had in high school.
That's great. That's great.
Here,
However,
we'll play show and tell.
I have
A
a
pen.
red pen of doom as an
Mightier than the sword.
Yes.
So this, when it comes to writers, wields a certain amount of power.
Mightier than the
Yes, it
sword.
does. Yes, it
It's the
does.
pen. Yeah.
The red pen.
The red pen of doom.
Red
Yes.
pen of doom.
So when I was in high school, ballad songs were the big thing. Have you
Okay,
know what these
okay.
are? They're the kind that you open with one
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we used to do it all the time. It was a classic fidget spinner back in
Yeah.
the 80s.
Right.
Nice.
And I've had that ever since. Oh my God, it's got so much wear on it. I can't believe
Yes.
how loose the thing is, but I still got it.
Well, it's just such
Uh-huh.
a joy to purchase your knives or really, anything when you can find like a local artisan or not even a local one, just maybe an artisan in the country that you support that is not, Amazon or a big business, but really takes
Mhm.
pride in, most of my knives come from my favorite smith, which hand forges it, stamps their little insignia into the blades. I have a bunch of them with the insignia. I love to support local artisans, and I
Yeah.
encourage people to, if you're going to shop, I really do believe in shopping local as much as you can.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I have
my-
a really great hand-forged Damascus steel
yeah.
belt knife.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. It really is, and I'm reluctant to tell you how much I spent on it, but it's really I
That's
love
okay.
that knife.
That's okay.
Hmm.
Should I get for my chair? I'm debating right now. Should I get a crocodile tooth keychain or a great white shark tooth keychain? Which one's
Shark.
more badass?
Shark. Yeah.
A shark is more
shark.
badass?
Sweetie
No, I
shark.
would say crocodile because
Oh.
I see shark teeth all the time. I don't know that I've ever seen a crocodile tooth.
Okay.
That's true. You've got a point.
Plus, I
And
do
you
think that
How
crocodiles.
big are they?
How big?
How big is the crocodile tooth?
I think like 6 centimeters. Like, you know,
Mhm.
pretty big. And a great white shark tooth is similar. The one thing that I've noticed when I was looking for great white shark tooth is that it's hard to find like one that is recent. They sell like ones that are millions of years old because they've been around
Megalodons.
forever.
Yeah, the megalodon.
They're fossilized, but it's hard to find like a nice white recent great white shark tooth. You got to pull it out of someone's surfboard, I guess.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, if you had the alligator tooth, the crocodile tooth, I mean, seriously, you're gonna go around and say, "This is not a tooth. This is a tooth."
yeah, let's get those. That'll be real badass. But I do have an affinity for Australia.
Yeah.
I was there in 2014. Great place.
Yeah, I've actually been to Australia. I loved it. It was
We were
awesome.
talking about that last happy hour, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think, absolutely. Yeah, we compared places that we went.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I definitely want to just like go somewhere in the U.S. You know,
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
can't
know.
wait to go camping. I'm got a couple of camping trips lined up. Looking forward to that.
Yeah,
That's
we're
good.
starting to think about the vacations starting in early 2022. A Scotland trip somewhere in 2022, since my wife is
Well, yeah. You got
Scottish.
family.
But also, I'd like to visit some other places in the U.S., including, dare I say it, potential retirement spots for the future.
You don't want to retire here?
It's a good plan. Great plan.
That's a very good plan.
Northern Virginia is somewhat on the expensive side.
I would miss you very much, David.
Yeah, me too, man.
Zoom,
Mind you, you're ready.
Facebook.
I know.
All right,
I've seen you.
There's no
I've-
reason to ever be out of contact with people if you don't want to be.
No,
That's
here's
true.
Zoom.
I definitely
We'll just
never
Zoom
want to
up.
be out of contact with you.
We'll still do these things. You'll be retired, and then we'll call you up on Zoom.
Is that a golf ball behind you, Jeffrey?
No, so that's an interesting
I
question,
said the same
Shay.
thing.
This here is the chronosphere. This is the time ship.
It's the
There's an
cover of his book.
It looks
Yeah,
like
this is the cover. Now, there's an interesting conundrum here, which is this: this here is a pentagon, as you probably know. And all the other things, they're hexagons, hexagons, all over the place, hexagons. Just this one little pentagon.
Here's
And
your
back-
challenge, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Write that into your story.
Well, I mean, I may indeed, because the thing is, there's very few mathematical symbols that will make sense that have so many hexagons than just this one pentagon.
I thought it was either a golf ball or the Epcot Center.
Well, you know, the Epcot is a true buckyball. It's all hexes.
The time travel science fiction story about golf balls.
Yes, I would read it.
Well-
I would read it.
I believe this is a Goldberg 3-3. If you follow this pentagon and you go up the line and then through a hexagon and up the line through a hexagon, just off screen, there's probably a pentagon over there. And that's the only way I could see it mathematically working. That is your boring section of the happy hour. Thank you for watching.
Not boring. Not boring. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we were brainstorming a draft cover for Jeffrey based
Yep.
on what he wanted to
Okay.
make, and that was some of the art that we
Yeah, no, I mean,
got off of
you're right.
deposit photos for.
You're right, Shay, that my idea was always to have a metal golf ball with a great big emitter dish that is not parabolic. It is, darn it, what's the word?
Because
Convex.
Huh? Ovular.
I think time
It's-
travel when I see a golf ball.
Not well. Yeah, but then there's the Centaurans. Okay, but the Centaurans are cool, but mine is different than the Centaurans. Don't sue me, BBC. You know, that's the thing. It can't be a pure sphere because then the BBC would sue me. But if it has the emitter dish that is parabolic, then they think it's the Death Star.
And then George Lucas will sue you.
I know George Lucas will sue me. So I kind of have to make this vague. But it is a golf ball with an emitter dish, but it's not parabolic. It's ovular.
Or the emitter dish is a pentagram. Problem solved. Yeah.
The fruits of brainstorming.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, I mean, that's the interesting thing about, you know, because if you know, I'm just going to go a little bit more boring again for a moment. If you know about parabolic dishes, they're all about focusing straight lines into a point. But if you take this ovular dish, what it does is it takes those points and focuses them to another point. And so that's the cool thing about an ovular dish, because the two foci of the oval. So that's the whole point. Goes straight.
Marty's yawning.
All right, onwards to the next topic.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There's your mathematics.
I haven't heard a whole lot of personal questions, damn it.
I know. I want more personal questions. Come on.
Are you
Somebody
going to
hit
continue
somebody.
school, Shay?
What?
Are you going to continue school?
Okay, this is a good personal question. Thank you for this.
Yeah. that's
So I don't know. I would love your feedback because I value the advice of all of you. I respect you guys. So I'm graduating in May with my history degree,
Mhm.
and I got into one grad school. I only applied to a few, and I only got into one. And I'm thinking strongly about accepting it for a master's degree. But I've recently had like a change of heart that I just don't really think I want to teach anymore. I think there's a lot of value in teaching, and especially if it's changing the lives of kids. But number one, it's not the best money, which I know is not a reason to choose a career, but it's still something to think about when you're young, and you're want to choose your best course in life. And number two, I'm just not super crazy about like the academic elite. I know that sounds bad, but I haven't encountered. I don't know what I want to say. People have been great. People have been very nice, but I think that sometimes the academic elite can be a bit closed-minded, and I just don't know if I want to like be debating ideas in a classroom my whole life. Maybe I want to go out and like be a veterinarian for a seal.
Well, that's a possibility,
in a
but
zoo. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. So what do you think?
Sure.
Should I?
Well, I think, you've gotten robbed the last year and a half of the college experience.
I know.
If you're going to continue, take over, one of the admin buildings and do a protest.
Well, I got a great, they offered me a TA position. So I would be, TAing for a class, which could be kind of interesting as an experience. And like you said, it could be a continued college experience since I got robbed in my last year at UVA. But again, it comes back to the question, should I get a master's degree in history when I don't think I want to teach anymore? There's not very much else you do with a master's degree in history.
No, there isn't. But I mean, you still.
Except writing.
Yeah.
No, but
Writing, and a friend of mine got his degree in history.
Yeah.
And worked at Burger King for a year while he was waiting for his top secret clearance to come through.
Yeah.
And he's been an analyst at one of those three-letter agencies for years and years and years.
So you're telling me that there is hope for a great career in history?
there is.
There is.
In terms of political
History typically
analyzing
means
and all
you
that.
have a good understanding
That's not teaching.
of
That's
world events,
Yeah.
including the origin of like current cultures and stuff like that, which turns out to be a pretty good basis for understanding modern day politics, which turns out to be a pretty good basis for being an analyst for certain three-letter agencies.
Well,
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what I revealed to my parents recently on a road trip in the car, where the best conversations happen, of course. I told them, and they were very surprised to hear this, but I told them that if I could do anything, in the world, I would love to join the Navy or join the military in some way.
Oh, yes, I remember.
And and they were very surprised because I'm physically disabled, and that's an immediate rejection from the military, as is right now. And so that's a big, it's a burden on my heart because I certainly didn't ask for it to be born with a physical disability, and it's hard to come to stop signs in life, where you can't do something. But I've recently tried to contact my congresswoman with an idea I had for a bill that would allow skilled workers to enlist in the military, not as non-deployable disabled people if they wanted to serve. And so right now I'm just trying to get in contact with her and talk about it and see if it's possible. I would love to serve my country in that way, but maybe that's kind of where my crisis of what I really want to do in life has come into play, where part of me is thinking, well, maybe I just wanted to teach because I always thought that's all I can really do. When maybe I don't really want to do that. I want to do something more.
Have you spoken to, I believe it's Wexton, isn't it?
Yeah, that's who I've been trying to contact.
Yeah, I mean, she's in the Longworth building. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to go down to DC and just go to her office and try and
I would love to do that. Let's do it
you
together. Come
talk to
with
her
me.
staff and make an appointment.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
constituent. You have that right.
Yep, definitely, for sure. Just got to get her to respond to my emails and calls.
Well, Doug, talk to the staff. Get the
Yeah,
staff to arrange it for you. The staff
Thank
will
you.
help you arrange it.
I'll do my best, and it'd be a dream come true. I'm only 25, and I did my research that the Navy enlists until 42 for
Huh.
officers. So I have time.
Really?
And just, I can hope and I can try, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But, you can try and see where your path takes you along the way.
Well, always work on a plan B.
Hmm.
Well,
Do you have a minor? Did you have a minor in college?
yeah, astronomy.
Okay.
I'm trying to recall the quote that I heard about plan Bs. I think it's from Indiana Jones, Marty. Isn't there a really good quote about plan Bs from Indiana Jones? Oh, come on, all you nerds can't think of it. You love movie talking. Come on.
I can't remember a movie quote.
I'm going to look it up while you guys talk about something.
Oh,
I'm going to
fair
look up
enough.
that quote.
But
Well,
I
it's
will
one
say,
of my rules. Always have a plan B.
yeah, I mean, it's a good one. But I mean, Navy, okay. As Shay probably remembers, as many of the listeners may remember, I did work for the Navy for 18 years as a civilian. And I do like the Navy, and I would love Shay to be in uniform. Plus, uniforms are sexy. But anyway, the thing is, I've got your back on this. And
Thank
if
you,
you get this conference with Wexton, let me know.
Yeah, I would
happy
love
to
to have you there.
interview
It'd be
with
an
you.
honor.
So you'll probably find this amusing. My grandfather, when he was still alive, he got a letter from the Navy trying to recruit him when he was 79.
Wow.
You probably don't know this, but he served in World War II on the destroyers that were guiding some of the convoys in the Atlantic during World War II, which was, by the way, very, very, very dangerous, since the destroyers were certainly targets of the U-boats and stuff.
Right.
So he, of course, responded with the, dear, so I would love to be part of the Navy. I've always found it an excellent organization, and I particularly recall the times that I had when I served in the Navy in the 1940s during World War II. And they wrote him a very nice letter back, basically where they said, thank you for your enthusiasm and your patriotism. We would love to have you in the Navy. Unfortunately, our rules don't currently allow it. But, very, very nice letter back. Certainly not a form letter. They took him totally seriously,
Right.
and left a smile on his face with the letter they sent.
Oh, very cool.
He got quite.
I think it was Will Smith. Maybe I was wrong. Will Smith. There's no reason to have a plan B because it distracts from plan A. Respond, Marty. Debate Will Smith in front of me.
Will Smith, I mean,
Always, always have a plan B. That's one of Marty's life's rules, and it applies to everything. In fact,
yeah, because
it's rule
sometimes
number 2.
sometimes your life story just flips side down.
So I did a lot of work for internet startups, and the thing that we learned from internet startups was basically the concept of pivoting. If that doesn't work, pivot. Do the same thing but a little bit with a little bit different emphasis. Well, if that doesn't work, pivot. Let's try it this way. Pivot. Let's try it this other way, until you achieve success. So maybe not a full plan B. But basically adapt and overcome.
The basic truism of business, that if you're Walmart, you're going to die because you're not adapting to plan B. You're not pivoting. You'll get taken over by, Woolworths. I'm trying to say Woolworths. You're not adapting and you get taken over by Walmart.
That would be your poster child for not adapting.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly my point. Woolworth's not adapting. And Walmart.
Have you ever heard of Woolworths? Have you ever
Exactly.
been there?
And so they don't, or
I've been
take
to them.
Toyota. Toyota's done this hybrid thing, and
You
now
what,
for
Marty?
30, 20 some years, they've done hybrids, and they're not pivoting again. And the car industry is changing, and they're not pivoting with it.
I used to go to Woolworths with my parents.
Oh, really?
Hey, I had, a Sunday at the soda fountains at Woolworths on Sundays. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing though. I kind of wish that we could bring back the soda jerks, because I mean, think about it. All these bottles that we just throw away as if recycling, and they just go into these purple containers, and the plastic stuff.
Well, they are coming back. There is one in Old Town Manassas. At least there was before COVID started. I
Right.
don't know if it's there anymore, but it was set up exactly like a classic, soda fountain, right out of the 50s.
Right.
Counters, the same, style, the motif in there and stuff. It was really
Well,
awesome.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The Silver Diner, they do a good job of spoofing, or maybe not spoofing.
It's not the Silver Diner. It was
No, I know
just
you're
the
not
soda fountain.
Yeah, but it's
For
spoof
soda
jerks.
jerks.
Yeah, but I mean, the idea that you could just take your bottles back and have them filled and then bring them home again, that was pretty neat.
Well, that's what breweries do.
That is true.
With the
Breweries do that.
growlers.
Breweries are great at recycling. Yep. And this is a happy hour. Drink them.
Yeah, I wish I had some.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been to a microbrewery. I hope
Mhm.
those guys are doing okay.
Oh, I just missed my friends in the electric car group. They're not necessarily all vaccinated, but they're certainly social distancing, and they're having their events. And yeah, they were just at it. My good friend, he's a partial owner of a brewery. I love going to his place.
Well, one of my local restaurants went out of business.
Oh, which one?
Well, okay, it's a chain, but Ruby Tuesday.
Oh, Ruby Tuesday, the
It-
local one. by
Very
you.
busy location that my wife and I usually went to.
That's
I don't know, probably every other Friday. I was kind of looking forward to coming out of COVID and getting my Asiago steak.
Well, they are a chain. I mean, is there another one
Grilled
nearby?
zucchini and stuff at Ruby Tuesday, and it's gone. Yeah, Frederick, Maryland. If I want to drive,
Oh, I love going to Frederick.
I'll
But
just drive to
okay,
get there.
peace. I mean, just up 15, man. You're right there.
if the one in Frederick is still around too. They've been having
Yeah, I
fun.
don't know. Red Robin was my go-to because I'm generally a vegetarian.
Well, they're everywhere.
Yeah, there's been lots of restaurants that have closed around Fredericksburg, where I live.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them temporarily, some of them, rapidly adapted, pivoted, as you say,
Yeah.
to takeout and delivery and stuff.
Yeah. I will say this though, the ones that were local, I'm really happy that Stones Cove Kit Bar is still going. I bought from them twice during the pandemic. I'm happy to see the Old Brogue up in Great Falls still going, and my friend Kevin at the Ashburn pub and the Percival pub still going. So kudos to them.
Yeah, I like the fact the Aspirin pub survived.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird how many businesses. I mean, how many businesses just haven't survived or haven't been able to make it through. A lot of restaurants in DC, which is primarily primarily work areas,
Mhm.
they had no choice but to kind of go out of business because nobody was working in the office buildings, and they weren't near a residential area.
Right. I mean, the ones that were the big wig ones, they're still around, Palms or whatever. But yeah, the smaller ones, no, they're gone.
Yeah, a ton of barbershops closed here.
Oh yeah.
I was shopping around for my new favorite barbershop, so I was giving everybody a chance to see what a good job they do. I don't push hair out fast enough to
Yeah.
get to them before COVID hit.
Yeah.
But you know, there's still several open, but there was a lot of barbershops along here. Apparently,
see.
a lot of people getting their hair cut often.
I don't think I'm ever going to go to a barber again, because I mean, I bought the razor. I wasn't as smart as you, David. I know you had the razor lined up before everyone locked down. I had to wait a while. My hair grew out, but I bought that razor because, I mean, you know, dude, if I'm just going to do this or if he's just going to do this anyway, I might as well just do it myself. Cleanup's a little bit of a pain though.
Yeah, my wife cuts my hair if I ask her. She likes it, the job that barbers do better.
Me trusting my wife with a pair of scissors near my head and near my eyeballs? Oh, no.
Okay.
No. No.
I actually
Now we
know my wife loves me because
Yeah, you know,
I let her get near me with razors and things.
I'll just say,
Well,
you know, if you have lots of
me, but
not to your
clumsy.
body, then I will say that maybe this is not the perfect marriage that you think it is.
Okay, so here's the deal about my wife. I love her, but she's clumsy.
Okay.
I have seen her do a swan dive off of the escalator at the Metro with my birthday present.
Wow.
It flew out of her hand, leaving me with the terrible dilemma of, do I catch my highly fragile, breakable birthday gift, or do I catch my girlfriend at the time?
Who'd you catch?
The girlfriend.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, they're still together,
pick.
aren't they?
She can always buy you more stuff.
But I have seen her get out of a car and fall into a mud puddle. I have seen her fall into snowbanks. We were building our pool in the backyard, and she took a step into the pool when we were still filling it with water, slipped on a step, and the only reason she didn't hurt herself falling on concrete was because I caught her again.
Okay.
Me trusting my wife to walk around me with walk around my head with a pair of scissors, not going to.
There you go. Now you put a whole new spin on it, and that makes sense. Yeah, no, but I mean, I like being able to do it myself. I don't even have to look in the mirror, pretty much. Hard to get the back, though. I do tend to get frilly hair in the back.
Shay, how often do you get your hair cut?
Not very often, but I think I may have mentioned before that I'm getting ready to donate my hair.
Oh,
Yeah, you did
that's
mention
right.
that.
To the
Yeah,
Wigs.
I held off because they announced that graduation would be in person. So, you know, all the pictures and everything. So I said, okay, I'll wait till after graduation now. So now I'm going to do it right after that. So end of May, beginning of June. But other than that, no, I don't often care to cut it or pay attention to grooming habits too much.
Yeah, I cut my hair when it reaches my shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing though. I would never look good with long hair, I don't think.
See, my problem is
I can
that
see it. Like a Sean Bean kind of thing. Like you know what I mean? Like from Game of Thrones.
I don't think I see it.
You know what I'm talking about,
I
though,
don't
right?
see it either.
Yeah.
if
The other thing I don't do is I don't grow a beard. It takes me like 6 weeks to grow a bad beard, and I don't grow a mustache because it makes me look like Snidely Whiplash, like I should be tying damsels to the railroad tracks and
right.
curling the ends and stuff.
Well, see, that's the thing is if I grow my hair out, I'm the PHB. I'm telling Dilbert, are you compiling? Okay, that's okay. I don't want to be the PHB.
I totally see that, actually. That's sad.
So more personal questions. What do you got?
Okay, wait. So Jeffrey's asked one, I've asked one, Marty's asked one, and it's David's turn. Ask me or Jeffrey or Marty or all of us if you want a personal question.
What made you decide to be a writer?
To everyone?
To everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
For me, it's not a real happy story. My brother died, and it really made me have a close look at what I wanted to get done in my life before I died. And so for me, it was kind of a bucket list thing. I wanted to write a novel before I died, and I did it, and I found out I really enjoyed doing it, and I never stopped. That's really the nuts and bolts of it.
And for me, it was freedom, physical freedom. I could experience things and explore and experiment with things that I felt like I was very limited to with my disability. So if I wanted to embody a character that could wield a heavy gun and jump off a ship and, you know, slay a dragon, stuff that I felt like I couldn't do, I was able to experience life that way. And then, like Marty, after I explored with that basic desire, then I realized I really enjoyed what I could do with writing, such as adding my commentary about humanity to the world, and finding interesting ways to write about love and write about just important milestones, important themes in life. So yeah, I really took to it, and like Marty, I didn't stop. Jeffrey?
Well, for me, all right, so I loved Doctor Who as a kid. Doctor Who practically raised me. Yeah, I know that sounds weird, but you don't know what kind of
I totally see that.
no, well, he came into the TARDIS. And, no. But anyway, the point was that I wrote a Doctor Who script. I said, "Well, this is so cool. I want to write my own script." That's my first writing, is doing that. Now, nothing came of that. I think I still have it on dot matrix printout somewhere. I don't even know how good it is, but I'd love to find it. Probably eaten by mice or pooped on by mice. Whatever. The thing is, though, that I wanted to write, secondly, J. Michael Straczynski. Oh, God, that guy created the entire Babylon 5 series. It inspired me and other writers to just say, hey, if he can do it, let me do it. And so, yeah, there was that. And those two things were pretty much the inspiration for me, because I started off writing this Project Chronosphere as a TV show. I wanted it to be a TV show. Then I realized how hard it is to produce a TV show. And I just said, okay, fine. And I sat on it for 20 freaking years. And now I'm writing it as a novel.
Cool.
Interesting thing about the Chronosphere story, though. As I said, I've been working on it for a long time. Originally set in 2010. Future, 2010. Came and went.
So Dave, answer your own damn question.
Okay, for me, it's a two-parter. My dad was a big science fiction fan, and he always carried around these books with these really cool science fiction covers. And one of the authors really had good covers. It was some guy named Andre Norton, who I only found out years later was actually a woman. And she wrote these squeaky clean adventure novels, often featuring, teenagers or relatively young folks. Just adventure science fiction stories. I love those things. And I think I started reading them probably when I was 9, 10 years old. And all I could think of was, wow, I want to be a writer like Andre Norton. And then I would say the second part to this is, I'd say life kind of got in the way, and I never ended up embarking on a writing career, and I went into IT and stuff. And then I hit one of those milestone birthdays, and you go, well, if you're serious about being a writer, and you actually want to have a writing career, like not just writing one book before you die, but actually having a writing career, and you just hit this milestone, like when the hell are you actually going to start? And that's kind of when I started to get serious about writing and working on craft. Like, when are you going to start? If you're serious about it, when?
I like those answers.
Yeah, I will say one last thing about the Chronosphere, which is just this. It was then going to be set in 2020, the nice and future. Oh, yay, we're going to nice and hug and kiss.
Yeah, the TARDIS is now set so that 2020 and 2021 should be skipped by all time travelers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Along with 1918 because of the
yeah. Although, I will say this, I had some fun because I have my protagonist graduating in 2020.
And we started this podcast in 2020. So
and, yeah.
Come on.
And
we got some good stuff happening.
He can talk about how he had this virtual graduation and he didn't actually meet his classmates, and how it was a year all on Zoom and all that he did in France.
Fun. So what do you guys got going this week? Doing anything fun?
Well, more writing and thunk, thunk.
Other than
Final, the
writing,
last-
come on, we gotta.
The
Other than-
last of all my friends to, except for one who can't get vaccinated. The last of all my friends. I'm the last.
For me, it's the necessary spring yard work. The pool just opened this past week,
Mhm.
you know, and I'm trimming some trees. I'm weeding, laying down mulch. I've got to do some cleanup on the pool. I've got to, I've got to do some power washing on the decking, the concrete
Excuse
decking
me.
out the pool and stuff. So just a bunch of stuff like that, which I will try to intersperse between my writing sessions. Write, work, write, work.
I am going
Writing is
to.
not work for me. It's fun.
I have a meeting with the Boy Scouts, who I'm trying to join. They accept now people past the age limit of joining, because I'm over 18, if they have a disability. So they're going to get some information on me and make sure that my disability qualifies and all these things. But I'm really excited because I've always wanted to join them and earn merit badges and maybe
Yeah.
even make Eagle Scout one day. So I'm
I
really
hope you
excited.
do.
So wish me good luck. My interview is on Thursday.
That was a
Yeah. Boy
that?
Scouts.
That's
Military.
cool. That's fun.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing.
What happened to the Girl Scouts though?
They're still around. They, I guess, have, a little bit of a different mission statement and do their own thing. I was more interested in the Boy Scouts for several reasons, but, just definitely was interested in the merit badge program because I looked up the badges and there's so many skills that I just would love to learn. I just saw like all the badges and all the,
Okay.
what you do to get it. And I was like, wow, I want to learn that. And yes, I want to learn that. And I want to learn this.
Well, no, that's absolutely the right attitude. And I will say this: instead of selling cookies, now you can sell popcorn and peanuts.
Well, wish me luck. I hope that they accept me. The official board, for the area has to review my case. So fingers crossed that they will.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
I just want you
Yeah,
to know
definitely good luck.
I belong to the worst Boy Scout troop ever. If you rated Boy Scout troops, we would have been the juvenile delinquents.
Oh no.
I
So
didn't.
you were not Eagle Scouts.
Oh no. We were the ones that knocked down tents in the middle of the night and threw eggs at the people when they came out of the tents. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
hope
was
you.
in the Boy Scouts, and my scoutmaster retired before I could get to Eagle Scout.
Oh, really?
Gotcha.
I never
it
got
was
past
really,
the-
really too bad. I really enjoyed it a lot, and nobody ever stepped up to replace them, and it just
Yeah.
evaporated like fog.
Well, I never got past Cubs. I was just a Cub, and that's it.
Well, Marty, maybe if you have some sort of disability, you can apply as well.
Nope.
I was king of the Cub Scouts, though.
There you go.
I won the Western New York Regional Pinewood Derby.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I always I made a whole list of all the badges that I want to earn. And one of them is archery. You have to make your own arrow
I
to
did.
get the badge. How cool is that? Make your own arrow.
Yeah.
I'm down for
Yep,
it.
I remember that.
I mean, I wrote a whole story about that.
Yeah.
There were
So-
two summers. This was actually kind of cool. There was God, I don't remember where it was now. There was a Boy Scout camp in the 2 years in a row. I think 75 and 76. My dad would take us took me and him on our cabin cruiser across the bay, upper river to where the camp was. And it was like a week-long camp where you got to do, things like archery, and it's the place where I first fired a 22 rifle. There was swimming, there was canoeing, there was knots, there was all kinds of merit badges and stuff. Had a great time.
Yeah. No, I mean, camp was fun for me too. I mean, I got to do some riflery. It was cool stuff.
Yeah, camping has always been a love of mine. Still is. Still camp a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
Fun times, guys.
It wasn't just a Boy Scout trip. It was also going. My dad was, one of the parent volunteers. So going on this like day-long journey to the place and from the place, in the boat was pretty cool.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, guys, you're probably watching this in the summer, or you waited 6 months, and it might be the dead of winter. Who knows? But when you see this, maybe you should take some summer activity, have some fun, enjoy the sun.
Cool. And on that note, I
Yeah.
think we're
Yes.
done.
Absolutely, another finely
So,
structured episode, y'all.
Another good episode. We'll see you guys next week for
Indeed.
another exciting episode of the Hourlings Podcast Project. We'll see you.